Man, is there
Oh,
no, it's
oh,
all good. Is there
I
a
was
way
to
to
say we're
share
actually live right now, man. So
for
99.9 Punk World Radio. You already know what time it is. Right here, we're actually joined by none other than Nathan of All the Wasted Years, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Quite wonderful actually.
I gotta say, I'm definitely feeling the same way, man. Normally, when it's Monday, I'm just like, oh, it's a Monday.
Yeah.
But for some reason, man, this Monday's feeling like a Friday. But I know when I wake up tomorrow and it's Tuesday, it's not gonna feel like the weekend.
Oh yeah, no, just between you and me, I didn't go into work today.
Well, hey, if you use the sick card, hopefully your boss does not see this.
Oh yeah, you know what? I just said I was feeling under the weather, and that could mean anything, mental health day. But I used bank time, so
Hey, that's the
whatever,
best way
man.
to do it. But just to say this, he did tell me he was feeling under the weather before the interview.
That exact. Thank you very much. You can even hear it in my throat. It's a little hoarse, and things went down.
But I do know you're a busy guy, man, and of course I'm not going to take too much of your evening. But I got to take you back to the beginning of your career, man. I have to ask Nathan, like, what actually got you into the music industry initially, man? Because you're such a very talented musician.
Just like it goes pretty far back, even for the four of us. The other boys right now are just kind of at work, all that stuff there couldn't make it. But we started playing, most of us started in our teens kind of thing, evolved from there. And then eventually it goes back to like my one best friend, Darcy, ended up calling me one night, and he knew I had kind of talent. We've been playing acoustic stuff and writing songs forever for a while there. We had a bunch of bands called like whatever. We had one Out of Order. We had another one called like Are You Famous Yet? Then eventually we started this one, and this was like the first one we actually put time into. But he called me like wasted out of his mind and left a message on my cell phone. I checked my message the next morning, and he was just obliterated, being like, "Hey man, we're starting a band. I found a drummer, a guitarist, and we're gonna do it. We're dropping out of school." Anyway, we stayed in school, but we still started the band that summer, and yeah, went on a little hiatus for a bit. But once 2015 hit, we found the right numbers and started doing it again, going strong, and yeah, put a bit of our own money into it, put some albums out, and that's the story.
And obviously, prior to All the Wasted Years, you briefly just spoke about two other bands, Out of Order and Are You Famous? Did
Yeah.
you guys actually release any material under those
Oh,
names? And if so, like, can our listeners actually check those out?
you know what? It was so bad, like unlistenable kind of stuff that we took it offline because we're like it's got to disappear to the world. That's just like for the friends and fam kind of thing. That memorabilia, no one gets to see it, unless you're gonna pay top dollar. And actually, if somebody really wanted to hear it and they're like, "Hey man, you want to send that old stuff?" I'd be like, I'd have to dig in my old desktop that's like collecting dust in a back corner now, but we definitely do something about it. But God, it's fucking just trash.
Hey man, everybody has to start somewhere, man. And also
Oh
as well,
yeah.
it would be good to listen to as well, because obviously you guys are very established. You guys got amazing records out today. So it would be good to go back and listen to the very original pieces of artwork and
Mm,
just hear how far you guys actually improved and
yeah.
overcame all these years.
Yeah. No, it's just weird because you like the timing's wrong, the pitch is wrong, it's not produced, it's not mixed. It was just off of like whatever we had. I think we did it off some karaoke mics that were like USB, plugged them into the computer, and just went with it. And then we're like, this is gonna make us famous. And then all of a sudden we're like 30 and balding and fat and still working our daytime jobs.
And also, I have to, because obviously, I know you briefly spoke about how, like, the band kind of got together and you really started kicking things off in 2015. But actually, how did you guys actually meet the other members that actually became the now known lineup of All the Wasted Years?
So our current drummer, because we're like me and Darcy, our guitarist we're the OGs kind of thing, and Eric we picked up later on. He was working with our drummer, and our drummer was actually our brother's our buddy, one of our best friends' little brother. And we had been bugging him for years, but he kind of grew up with a lisp and was pretty shy, and he had a girlfriend at the time and all that stuff. And anyway, he ended up opening up out of his shell, and he came over to my house one night because we play men's league, beer league hockey together, kind of thing. And I strummed him a song on the acoustic, and then he was just erect, and it was like, I'm in, that's it, you know. So,
And
and yeah. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was going to say as well, sometimes individuals with a lisp and the speech impediment, sometimes they actually
Oh
do kind of
yeah,
like don't come out of their comfort zone. But it's really great that he actually did, man, because
yeah.
you guys have a
Well,
perfect lineup.
yeah. No, he doesn't have a lisp anymore. Just letting you know, he's he speaks like just fine now, but he still like took him years to come out of his shell, kind of thing, you know. And now like the trick is getting him to shut up, and plus he's just such a Casanova with the ladies. Love him. Everyone loves him. He's got such a good clean humor, and it's like, wow, man, it was a shame you kept that away from the world before, you know. But yeah, we have a great lineup now, and our members, they're our core members. Every now and then, since we're all full-time members, we kind of have to have stand-ins now, where you just grab a drummer for a stint of shows, grab a bass player for a stint of shows, and that's where it goes, you know, just because we're busy, you know, and we want to keep playing music.
And also as well, November 16th of 2015, you guys actually dropped the amazing 10-track album titled Thin Ice. I was wondering, what is the backstory behind this project? And of course, is it actually still available to be streamed today in 2023?
Yeah, Thin Ice is on Spotify. It was a basement album. We had a different member bass player at the time, and we ended up recording it with him. And he had got out of producing school kind of thing and wanted to put some stuff together, and we ended up connecting with him really well. Made that album. We got it mixed by our other buddy in town. It was all local done stuff. I think we might have outsourced the artwork to someone in Mexico. But anyway, yeah, that was it, you know. And those were basically like the college year songs, or like some of the first songs that I've ever really written. And yeah, our only regret, like kind of in hindsight now, I guess you want to, because we were a little less serious about back then, but and we didn't really have our money to put into stuff now. But after that album was just like a stepping stone for us to kind of save money and put money into High Blood Pressure, because all our money that we save from shows and stuff goes right back into the band and kind of thing. So it was the backstory behind that album. If you listen to it front to back, it's lyrically it's good, and you know, it was actually one of our more popular albums because of it's a little crusty, and a lot of the crust punks were really digging it. They like that DIY stuff, and we were actually shocked at how popular it was. And a lot of people, when we go out of town, there's a couple bangers on it. But yeah, the whole backstory, lyrically, it was written from the college years. I think Darcy might have pitched in on like half a song here and there, and we just recorded it in the basement, got it mixed locally, then the artwork, and that was it. Funded our next couple albums.
And obviously as well, this even like makes me realize that 2015 feels just like yesterday, but in 2 years, that's going to mark 10 years, man. Do you guys have any plans to actually kind of remaster that or bring that album out for a 10-year anniversary?
Oh, between you and I, we got a little something in the works. You know, we there's the most listened to songs. You know, I think in the very near future we're going to be releasing something that's just done a little more properly mastered, properly mixed, kind of, you know, with someone with the background of and all that stuff. And I don't really want to cut down our friend, because our friend Corey McGee, he came a long way with his mixing, and like what he's mixing now, he's got a couple local bands that are like, they just sound night and day compared to what he used to do, like exactly like you said, 8 years ago. So yeah, but we just wanted to put some money into it and get someone who's with some production background doing it. And yeah, so we got a couple songs off that album coming out sometime soon. So,
And also as well, I know this is kind of like a generic kind of question, man, but I really love your guys' band name. It's very catchy.
oh yeah,
It's original in my honest opinion. So I have to ask, man, what actually made you guys decide just to come up with this phenomenal band name?
just again at the time in our life, it's funny now because we like kind of almost hate the band name, because we have a name to live up to now, right? We go out and we play a show, and people want to get wasted with all the wasted years. So it was a college thing, and mostly I was writing songs about drinking. Kind of, it's where I was in life. But now there's always like a tinge of despair in the lyrics if you listen to them. Like, I still talk about drinking, but it's just in another way. And over time, I guess, I don't know, I find it harder to write a song now that's just about drinking. and pure like fun drinking kind of thing. It's always like got to be a little bit sad drinking, you know. But and I'm not even really that sad a person, and I don't drink because I'm sad. But I mean, it's just the lyric style just speaks a little more to me if someone can have that tinge of despair. But the band name itself just came from when we were younger and just getting hammered up, all getting gooned, you know.
And especially as well with the lyrics, obviously, you know, you guys are getting older. You guys are out of college. You
Yeah,
guys are like in your 30s and whatnot. So obviously, you know, the lyrics are going to progress and change throughout the years as well.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, like I said, the way we've evolved, we're like, you know what? We don't hate the name. It's our brand now, and we own it. But now it's just an ongoing joke with us. We're like, why did we name ourselves All the Wasted Year? Like, in the most shows we typically do in a row lately is like about 4 or 5 shows in a row, and we just there's always one member that's like wakes up the next day hungover and like, why the fuck did we call ourselves All the Wasted Years? Hey, I know we're live here. It's all right if I drop it.
Oh, yeah, we're completely uncensored, man. Definitely. Swear it
Oh,
up.
thank God. Woo! Fucking cunts. You know what I'm saying?
If we weren't uncensored, man, I would just have to call the West Coast.
Oh, exactly. Exactly.
But obviously as well, man, on May 1st of 2020, you guys actually dropped your most recent album titled I'm Fine. I was wondering if you could actually tell us a bit more about this particular project. And of course, how did the COVID-19 pandemic really affect this album?
Oh man. Okay. Anyway, this we did the first album, High Blood, or the first studio album, we'll say, High Blood Pressure, and man, I just had such a taste for wanting to get back in studio, and it was like, man, I just wanted to do another album. So we actually funded our own money and went right back a year after our first release, kind of thing. Because and we were kind of lucky because we were working with a big name too, Anton DeLoss, real big producer. But he's kind of like outgrown us, we'll say, in the industry. Like, we're too small time for him now. But yeah, we did both albums with him. I'm Fine and High Blood Pressure, and you know, it was just it sounded so like good, clean, and the experience. It was basically like going to music school. You work with someone that's like that. So yeah, and then when it was time to drop it, we were putting out the videos. We had a video for In Fact, and I don't know if you noticed, if you watched our other video for Righteous, it was like a DIY 4 screen shot of all of us kind of being a little goofy there. But and it was the time to release something like that because that's what every band was doing, because you couldn't get together with your friends. But it was almost like it was a little scary for the band because, like, you know, it was hard not to be depressed in that time. But we had a tour booked out east, and we had took time off, all of us, because we all have full-time jobs, right, 40 hours a week. But I think we had about 3 weeks off. We had booked about 8 shows, had another 6 shows pending, and we were going to go to Halifax, Montreal, all this stuff. And then the pandemic hits. It was March, whatever. They're talking about shutting everything down, and it was super demoralizing for us, and we didn't know what to do. And then we did a couple DIY acoustic songs that we did in the basement too. And when it comes down to it, we would rather go with a producer now and kind of stay off the labels, because we just don't really have the time to be touring, right? A label is going to want you to be touring a lot more in the summers. And I think this summer alone, we're just at the age 30s there where everyone's got weddings all the time. But yeah, I would say it was real demoralizing for the band, COVID-19. But now that it's all over, we're starting to get some traction again and really put ourselves out there and connect with young gentlemen like you, young, handsome gentlemen like you, to get our names back out there, you know?
Hey, well, you know what? Honestly, this right here is my job, and my job is to actually promote amazing bands like yourself. So
Oh,
hopefully
thank you.
this can actually bring you guys some traction, man.
Here we are, just, you know, talking to each other, jacking each other off a little here, there. You know, it's nice. It's
A
nice.
little bit, you know.
Yeah,
I'd
a
be
little
lying,
bit.
man, if I didn't say I was blushing a little bit over that.
Yeah. I'm red too.
But obviously, man, when you're talking about touring and whatnot, I also noticed on your guys' Instagram bio that on July 14th, you will be actually in our area of Ottawa, Ontario, man. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this up-and-coming performance. And, of course, where can we actually snag or sell some tickets to actually come on out?
I think the tickets are at the door only. Like, my buddy Darcy, he's the one who booked that show. And, yeah, it's a real small venue. I think I don't know. We're probably gonna sell tickets for like $10 a head at the door, kind of thing. And yeah, probably go from there. We're going to Montreal too, and we have a one in Rouen booked this summer too. And I think in the fall, we have another stint of shows coming. I think we booked Hamilton and London, and we're gonna try to get another one on our run there. But yeah, if you want to come see us, we're gonna have a blast for sure. You know, and I don't even remember that. Wait, I have my Spotify open right here. I could tell you what it Avant-Garde Bar. Avant-Garde. Have you been there before? Is that
I
right?
have not. I've been to Montreal a few times, but I mean, at the end of the day,
No.
I speak only English, man. So I think everything sounds the same.
Yeah. This one's in Ottawa. Avant-Garde Bar. I don't even. Man, I'm so rusty on French. I graduated from a French high school, and you wouldn't even believe. You're like, wow, this guy's like sounds a little special when he speaks French.
I will admit, I got exempt from French when I was in grade 2. So I mean,
Okay,
I can say au revoir and bonjour, and that's about it.
That's enough to get by, though, you know.
And also, as well, man, I do know we talked about how you actually have some current projects in the works, so you can't really talk about, obviously. But is there actually any plans for you guys to actually drop a brand new record in 2023 or the foreseeable future?
You know, new music will be coming this year. Just the when is still a little fuzzy for us. Like I said, we're all real busy right now. And the most important thing about releasing music now, if you want to get traction, is like you have to market it properly and use the tools on the internet properly. And that's the biggest thing about all of this right now is, you have to, you know, preach it with Instagram properly, have your little snippets. And we're going to be filming a music video pretty soon, and we're still kind of deciding what the single is. And then we want to put out another music video. But yeah, we're going to have a little album coming out. It's not, I think there's going to be 7 songs on it so far, but we also applied for some grants. We're hoping to get some money from Factor. And if we get another couple little, if we find some money somewhere, we might do a few more songs. So we had a really good experience with our current producer is out of Toronto. So, and we had talked to him and said, hey man, if we're getting a little more money, we're probably going to book you again and just do another 3-4 songs. So, but yeah, that's the plan. And next, I want to say, I don't want to give a real timeline here, but we're definitely going to have I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 songs out this year. We're hoping from it.
And I'm going to say as well, when you talk about grants and whatnot, man, so one thing I love about Canada, because Canada really does kind of help out artists and bands and whatnot, man. I think it was even Sum 41 back in the day actually got grants to actually release the Chuck album. So it's pretty cool how the government does that.
Oh yeah, no, it's amazing. It's such a little incentive to actually put your music out there and do it properly. But the thing is, like, people get hired to actually do these grants for you, kind of thing, because they're a little complicated to do. Like, there's quite the process, and it was our guitarist that did it. You need to submit your passports and all this stuff, and say where the money's going. They don't just give it away, but I mean, it's like let's say it takes about 10 hours of work to actually fill out the forms and all that stuff. But if you get the money, like they give up to like $70,000 to some bands. Probably not a small kind of local band like us, but I know bigger bands, touring bands, they get a little more money. And like that kind of money for us, it really helps out so much just in funding new music and kind of that kind of thing. Because I'm hoping next year we want to get on the road, and I think we're gonna try and do 2 weeks, maybe 3 weekends, if everything goes as planned. But it's up in the air right now. But we're gonna start booking soon, hopefully.
And also, what is next for for not only yourself, Nathan, but of course all the wasted years? Like, is there anything we missed during this evening's interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? We still got you here live on the radio.
Just keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, because new music will be coming. And we're giving a little push for our old music right now, just because of the pandemic kind of ruined it. So we're putting ads out and stuff, and just follow us on Spotify if you like what you hear, and tell your friends. We do plan on getting out there and doing some shows, so that's pretty much it.
And also as well, how do we actually go about following all the wasted years on social media? Because I know how to follow you guys, but for the individuals that are just discovering you guys, how can they go about following you guys all across the board?
All across the board, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We're constantly promoting ourselves, and Spotify. Follow us on Spotify. Those numbers count too. So help us out if you really like the music. Give us a follow. And like I said, the new music is on its way. And yeah, we have everything's on YouTube. Even if you want to listen for free, kind of thing. Throw that on one night. If you have YouTube Premium, you don't get any ads, right? So there you go. Yeah, but we're across all platforms, and if you want to stay posted on our shows, hopefully, if we do a lot of Quebec and Ontario shows, and we're hoping to break into the out east scene before the old pandemic hit. Then our plans to go out west, and I think maybe long term goals, we're looking at the U.S. and potentially Europe if things go well for us within the next few years. But we're just building our catalog of songs right now and really having the best time doing that. And yeah, that's it.
I can see you guys having a killer time out there in the United Kingdom, man. I've heard stories that a lot of independent
Oh,
bands like yourselves go over there and they get just shown absolute love, man.
yeah. No, that's the thing. The art scene in like Northern Ontario and kind of stuff like that. It's a little, yeah. It's actually our hometown though. The scenesters here are so awesome and amazing. They come out and there's a mosh pit every show, and it's not like whether 50 people show up or 150 people show up. They're out there, out front, having a good time, singing the words to the songs they know, and it's just couldn't ask for a better hometown kind of thing. But a lot of it, it's just the tools are getting better though. Like with promoting with Facebook and Instagram and kind of that stuff. And the more followers we have, the better. So we can kind of just get more people out to our shows and have a blast.
And I got to say, first and foremost, Nathan, thank you so much, man, for just actually giving us a bit of your time here this evening and signing into the 99.9 FM airways, man. It was such an honor to speak with you, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm if we're coming to Ottawa, we're looking forward to seeing we'll have a good time together.
Hey, man, definitely. You already know, man. I appreciate you, and definitely have yourself a kick-ass night.
Okay, yeah, right on, man.